That was one of the best moments of my life. She's a really cute baby. I can't get over it. Oh my God. For all the listeners out there, all 10 of you, I just met Danny's baby virtually. And oh my God, she's
Thanks.
adorable. Girl dad, I think you were meant to be.
It's all I know. Yeah.
That's very
Girls
true.
are all I know. Like, do I think about having a son? Do I think that would be a cool idea? Yeah, definitely. My mom really wants me to have a boy, as if I can pick. But if I don't have a boy, I don't think I would feel like sad or anything because I just don't know. I just don't know what it's like. So, yeah.
Yeah.
She cute.
Oh my God, she's so cute. I've heard too, there are times where couples or friends we've had, let's say they really want a boy and the first one's a girl. And then by the time there's a second one, there's this feeling of, oh, but like two sisters could also like, that'd be a totally different bond than maybe like an older sister, younger brother kind of a thing. And so I don't know. I think there's pros and cons to all of it. And then there's people I knew in high school that are about to have their third, all boys. And they're all just like full throttle. And I'm like, okay, here we go. That sounds insane. So,
Yeah.
right? It's just a different flavor, no matter what you get. So
Cool.
cute.
Ollie,
oh my God.
what's for lunch?
Okay. Yes. My gosh.
Okay.
I have fun Q&As. So different therapists I follow will do, ask them random things or like they'll have just they'll share things that I'm like, oh, that's kind of a fun like Q&A kind of thing for a therapist. And so I figured today during our lunch, I want to go through some of the fun ones with Danny. Because I think they're, and you haven't looked at them, right? Are you going into these blind?
This time I'm going to be the blind person. So.
Wow. This also, I think, is really good for you, just as an exercise. I think you're a planner. You love to have control. You're maybe slightly more OCD tendencies than I have. I think this will be very good for you.
I agree. And I think this is going to show up so much in this episode that it's not that I struggle to talk about myself. I think this puts on display just how much of an introvert I am. And so how much I don't actually spend talking. So when you ask me a question, it's going to be very much, I have not strung these words together before, so.
That's okay. It's a nice light Q&A. Watch me throw in a really political one and just be like, how do you feel about this topic? Just kidding. I would never do that. Okay, let's see here though. Okay, but here's a fun one. Okay. So number one, what is the best purchase or purchases? Because there's kind of two that you feel you have made as a therapist. One that's like directly like related to your therapy business. And one that maybe isn't as obvious, but you feel has been like incredibly helpful either to you in your business or to you as a therapist.
I guess I'll start with the second one first. Because the thing that just immediately comes to mind, and that's what I'm going with today, is my standing desk.
Oh, that's a good one.
My standing desk has to be one of the most important purchases, best purchases I've made, just as like a me. Because with how many clients I see a day, how many clients I see a week, how much research I put into not only preparing for my clients, but everything that we do here, right?
Yeah.
I'm editing the episodes, I'm writing notes. I spend a lot of time in front of my computer. And so that means I spend a lot of time at a desk, and up until recently, that meant that I spent a lot of time sitting down. I had a lot of back pain.
Yeah.
My goodness.
You don't think about that.
Yeah, and there's almost like no way around it. It's an occupational hazard to just kind of be here.
Yeah.
So when I got into the new office space at the beginning of the year, I was super excited. I got myself a standing desk, and my life I think my quality of life has really improved. Very, very much so. What about you?
That could go either way too, to be honest. That could be for your business or
I'm still thinking about the business one.
Okay. I'll say my not business one is I think my Pilates membership, which I got technically is Legree. I don't know. It's controversial out here, Danny. But no, I started doing, I've always run, and I love that. But I think especially getting closer to 30 and before I turned 30, I mean, I just like knew like women especially can benefit from like lifting more weights and more resistance training as they get older, and like the nature, like you said, of our jobs. I've stood to work for years because of exactly what you're saying. It's just, I started having so much pain sitting down. So
Mm-hmm.
standing was really helpful, but I always knew I wanted to kind of balance the running with something. And Pilates has literally been amazing. Or like the Legree studio that I found, a friend told me about it, like in the same town I live. And then I finally got my sister into it. And now we go 3 to 4 times a week. And it's just truly the best thing ever. Some days you don't want to go. Some days it's really hard. Some days it's like a lot more fun. But I've never had this much muscle mass. I wake up with like a solid 4 pack. I'm like, what is happening? Like, this is insane. I have muscles. And so I'm just like, wow. I just feel mentally so much better getting some form of workout, like at least like 5 to 6 days a week. So
Sure.
I think it's helped my running so much. It's helped my mental health. It gets me like grounded before like a busy day of work. So I think that's mine that I'm like, all right, don't tell the studio this, but I guess no matter how much that membership rate goes up, I do think I have to keep Legree membership.
Working out is a game changer. When I can spend a good solid like hour, hour and a half, 2 hours at a gym doing whatever the hell I do, like I just feel so much better. Today, I was able to do a lot of just cardio. I think I did like 20 minutes on an elliptical, 20 minutes of just resistance training, and then I finished it off with like 10, 15 minutes of what is it, like indoor like rowing. And I love it. I love it. I love just the thought of being able to move my body. Like that feels like in itself like such a blessing. Like I can do this. Like holy shit, that's so freaking cool. And just kind of be in the moment of doing all that stuff. So that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Well, also, you pointed out, I feel like it allows me to deplete myself in a way that I
Yep.
have to. In order to get good sleep, in order to get hungry, I need to exert myself. And I think our job can be very draining in other ways. And the standing has helped a lot with even making it more tiring throughout the day. But if you see 8 people a day, there's no taking away from the fact that you're going to be at your computer for like 8 hours at
Sure.
least just for those appointments, you know? And so
Hmm.
when I don't get a workout in, sometimes it's like, oh, if you looked at my phone and how many steps I take, it probably looks so embarrassing. So I need to have something every day that's like, cool. I need to know by the end of the day, I'm going to be like wiped out and ready for sleep or ready to eat a good meal or something, or else I go stir crazy in my own head and then I don't get hungry. I can't really sleep well. It's such a domino effect. It's like, damn, these doctors out here, you get why it's like, oh, do you work out? Do you drink water? Do you? And you're just like, damn it, those things are really fucking helpful.
Yeah, I actually really, really like what you just said. There is this congruence that I think is needed when you work as long as we do. Mentally, I come home drained, but I can't rest because my body is almost like so keyed up as if it's been waiting to just be released and to do something. And so, yeah, I think going to the gym, getting tired, like physically tired, is super important to help kind of the mind and body talk to each other and be on the same page for me.
Okay, how
Um,
about your business one?
the business one, again, the first thing and the only thing that's really kind of coming to my mind is my training. So, my certification as a sex therapist, and then just a little bit more broadly, I want to say just all these books, you know? Like specifically my certification. That is something that I invested in, but also just more in general, everything behind me, both here and at the main office. These are my favorite purchase. Except for that one's actually a novel. Like we have a few just like random, just regular books in here. And also, I'm not gonna lie, there are definitely some books in here that I don't recommend. There are actually a few books. This one is a little questionable. It's super old. This one right here, not my favorite. There are definitely some books in there that are cautionary tales, but I do still get them. I do still read through them so that I can understand how like the opposing side tends to think, so that I can speak to it instead of just bashing on it. We are sex therapists, and like on the flip side of our profession, there the other, sex experts seem to be sex addiction therapists.
Hmm.
And we, as far as our understanding of especially what's the word, when it comes to unhealthy or problematic sexual behavior, we are on very opposite ends of the spectrum. And so I still think it's important for me to understand where they're coming from. But anyways, in general, my training because I love what I do, and it's more than just hanging out with clients. It's more than just being able to build relationships. Like, I want to understand how people work. I want to
Hmm.
help them like actually figure stuff out. And so every book I've ever bought and every training I do is easily the best thing I've ever done for my business,
Hmm.
because it, like, there's a difference between being a well intended and very personable therapist and being trained.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think one of the things when we first met is we were both like, we're the bookshelf types. We both
Yeah.
have a ton of books. So obviously, I super agree. I love reading about. Yeah, and even if you get a bad one, you're like, "Oh, it's cool that at least now I know." Or then you get, yeah,
Hmm.
you have a whole nother area of like, "Ooh, why don't I agree with this? Like this person's approach better and here's why." And it all obviously, yeah, like impacts how we work with clients. That's a good one. Ooh, okay, and I like that it's different than what I thought. And again, this is because I think you've always had your mom because she does your taxes and handles like the business end and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Or
okay.
not handles it, but like your mom does taxes and stuff. So obviously you're like, yeah, I'm gonna work with her. But when I got like a good CPA, or if you get a good like tax attorney, those people will save your life. It's like I just investing in someone to do my taxes and be like, "Hey Ollie, you're going to be an S corp." And I'm like, "A what?" And they're like, "Send me these forms." I'm like, "Okay." I found someone that he helps me so much and I'll be like, "Why is this happening?" And he's like, "Well, Ollie, let me explain." When you find someone who's either a good CPA or a good like tax attorney that helps you structure your business certain ways, tells you like all these different tax benefits. You're like, okay, like if you want to put, this much into here, like this is how it'll affect your taxes at the end of the year. Or like you tell me your long-term goals, I'll help you get there. I'm like, oh my God, take my money, Chip. You are wonderful. He has saved my life.
We love you, Chip. Thank you, Chip.
Thanks, Chip. I hope no one finds him. I don't want him to blow up quite yet. Okay, I think he has enough going on. I don't know if he could take any more people. But find a good one. Find a good one near you. If you find Chip, then you're in luck. Okay, next one. Most
Fun.
unexpected perk of being a therapist. These are fun, right? I love these.
I think you're gonna have to go first because I don't know if I've experienced a perk to being a therapist. When people find out that I'm a therapist, it is actually more often than not the best time. So,
Whoa. Okay, I'm going to say the most unexpected perk
yeah.
is I was so ready and like pre-COVID thought I'd be at an office. Like I knew that certain perks would be working for myself, setting my own hours, saying what you want to make
Okay.
each hour. An unexpected one is I did not think I was going to be a fully virtual therapist. And so I think being fully virtual was like, whoa, this has allowed me such a level of even just in between clients, like we've talked about. I can do so many things. I can be so much more flexible. I am naturally a homebody and more of an introvert, so I never really realized how much like I would love working from home. And so for me, I think that's like my unexpected perk. I did not ever anticipate I'd be a fully telehealth therapist,
Okay.
and I freaking love it.
Okay. Well, then not to kind of put a damper on this whole thing, or and make it sound
There
super
are
boring.
none.
No, not to make it sound super boring, but I think I'm actually gonna have to steal that one. That is one. Yeah, I did not expect to be doing this job the way that I'm doing it, and I'm in love with it. And I guess like if I had to push that a little bit further, what I might say, an unexpected perk about this job. What's the question?
Yeah, an unexpected perk about being a therapist.
About being a therapist is that how much it pushes and rewards just living a life that makes me happy.
Mhm.
You know, if you truly practice what you preach, every day is fun. It's hard. Like, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of hardships, some recent like deaths in the family and all that stuff. It's tough, but I never thought that I'd be making a career not just about helping people, but something that has this feedback loop.
Mhm.
I come home so much more appreciative. I come home just so much more almost energetic. Can't wait to hang out with my family just because knowing just how precious these relationships can be. And I think
Yeah.
seeing that on both sides, like seeing how hard it is for people to struggle with them and then also seeing how beautiful it is for people to really excel in it. I think I would say that that's a perk, but I think I have to steal yours.
Oh, I love that though, because I think growing up, or I don't know, when you hear about family, or I mean, like friends who their parents or people like worked all the time or worked a lot, it was very like they were out of the home. I never saw them because of that, and so I don't have children, but it is nice to be like, oh, I do work a lot. I do a lot to support my little family, but I can still, we cook the freaking dog's food from scratch all the freaking time. I can still go do that all the time. I can do all the laundry. I can, so it doesn't just feel like, oh, well, geez, I had such a long day that I was absent from all these other things in my life. No, I can be busy, but still be so present in my home life that I think I would have loved having a little office. And in another world, and if times are different, and I have the opportunity, I think I will. Like, I think it could be really cool in a lot of ways. But for what my life is now, I think it's just so helpful that I can be at home and get so many other things done that aren't just work, but while still working a very good amount.
Yeah.
So, oh, okay. That one's fun. I love that one. Okay, what's our next question? Okay. What is your kind of speaking to that? What is your favorite thing to do in between sessions? And obviously, this can ebb and flow and change from time to time. But lately, what has been your favorite thing? Or when you can do it, what is one of your go to favorite things?
Read.
Ooh,
Read. Okay, I have three. Read, watch a show, or take a nap.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Reading, it can either be it could be reading for a client, like it is a lot of fun. I do have fun going through things, and if you've seen any of my like recommendations, you know that like I highlight the shit out of books. I have post-its. Yeah, I go to town on my books. So reading is just fun for me. I also have like a book with my wife, like her and I will get books, and that's why I don't know if you can see it, but can you see this?
It's right on the cusp. Like it's right outside the frame.
Well, it doesn't matter. There, if you can actually see the frame, and I don't know if it widens depending on whatever. Answer the question. There are two of the same books. And you might be asking yourself,
We
why
do that too.
are there two of the same books? Well, because one is mine, one is my wife, and we read.
Club.
Yeah, we have a book club. So
Oh,
I
Danny,
love
we're the
reading.
same people.
It gives us something to, not that we run out of things to say and not that we're uncomfortable with silence, but we're investing in the relationship, and this gives us kind of something to keep us, always having something interesting to talk about. So reading, shows is something that I think is nice. I always have like a YouTube video on my watch list, or I just have like a few just shows that I watch just for myself because when I'm home, it's, me and my wife have our own, like, this is what we watch. Time's limited, so it's kind of nice just to pop on an episode. And then also because we have a kid and sleep is a rare resource.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do find myself just like driving to work, just like, stay up. You're almost there. And as soon as I get there, I don't even turn the lights on. I just plop on my couch and just knock out. So sometimes, as much as I want to keep working, taking a nap is what I find myself doing a little bit more.
Well, okay, and even if you didn't have a kid, I think the nap one is valid. Some people are like nap
I've still
people,
done it.
like they just would wanna. But I do think it's funny we're obviously at different, or for as much as I like to read too, we do our book club at night because it'll put me to sleep. Or it's just like when I do this thing where my husband's like, he's like, you're either Ollie on or Ollie off. I'm either passed out and I'm just recharging for the next day, but once I'm up, it's like we don't have curtains in the bedroom. I just wake up with the sun and I'm like, ding, and I'm just awake and going. So my two lately have either been taking the dogs out for, it ends up being a jog. I run each of these pugs like a mile, and I have to take them one at a time. Together, they're too much when it's just me.
Mm.
Lately, I've been taking them out one at a time. One of them runs like the entire mile. The other one will run for a little bit and then we're on a walk. So I'm like, thank God. So I do him second. The other one I do first. But that's actually been really enjoyable. I get more sun in the day. I get more steps in. And that's not just like my morning workout, which is nice. Our garden in the back has really been thriving. And I mean, like, harvested, I got a strawberry yesterday. We have little yellow
One
zucchini.
strawberry.
One strawberry. There's others in there, but one was like pretty big and red. So I got that one yesterday. We've gotten a few green zucchinis. And then now our yellow zucchinis are starting to come in and they're like, or yellow squash or whatever. And they're less than half an inch long, but they look just like a very, very mini zucchini. And so for some reason, the joy I get watering this shit every day and watching every day the vegetables get bigger. I don't even like zucchini. And I've been eating them. I'm like, we grew this shit. And then you get the chicken eggs, and I'm like, are we homesteaders? I think. Could we live in an apocalypse for a day? I think we could make it. And I get a joy out of walking in our backyard being like, oh God, I gotta grab the eggs for the day. Oh, let me just really quickly water this, grab a few of the tomatoes that are ripe, bring them inside. We have so many kinds of peppers, jalapenos, habaneros, Hungarian. That one was from my brother-in-law. We're not a huge pepper family. I don't know why we have all these peppers, but let me tell you, they look great in our garden. And watering that thing in the middle of the day has brought me a pathetic amount of joy. And I'm overwhelmed by it lately. That's watering that garden and taking the dogs out lately have been my go-tos, whether I've got the 10-minute break in between stuff or I've got an hour and I'm like, cool. Each of these guys takes about 27 minutes, so I can get it done. And those are my two.
Nice.
I like that we're like kind of in different sectors in a lot of these, which is fun. Okay. I love questions. Next question. I love this one. What is the hardest therapeutic skill for you to practice that you preach?
Nothing. I'm perfect.
I do it all, baby.
I think I'm just gonna have to keep going with the first thing that comes up in my head.
Or what's even been the most difficult, like lately,
Sure.
that you've noticed?
I guess I have two, maybe.
Yeah.
First one is, I think, listening during, like, conflict. Yeah, and
Interesting.
let me explain.
Yeah.
I want to say that just because conflict is hard, I think, for anybody, and during a time of conflict, I think that's when we have the least, like, internal resources. And so I'm not saying that I argue with my wife a lot. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm also not saying that I tend to be very critical or defensive when I argue. Like, I'm not saying any of that, right? This is really, really very boring. If we just cut to the last time me and my wife argued, y'all would be like, shut up. I'm trying here. All right. These are hard questions. But I think with anyone, it's conflict is very touchy thing to do. It's a chess match.
Yeah.
And so I think I do, in conflict and when we are kind of trying to walk through our differences, is when I do notice that I am practicing. I am literally practicing what I preach. I do go through the steps in my head, and I do find myself saying to myself, slow down. What did she just say? Stick to this. We're not going to talk about that. Stay here, stay here. And so when I hear that question, the first thing that pops into my head is like, well, what do I actually notice myself practicing? Whereas other things I think have become a little bit natural and a little bit more easier, or just things that happen more often. We don't argue very often, or we don't have like debates even very often. But when we do, those are the times where I'm really like, ooh, okay, hey, stay here, do this. And so I think just functionally, that's the answer to that question. I think another answer might be, in broad terms, like advocating for myself. And so speaking up for what I want. Again, I think I'm a very boring person. I'm really happy with just kind of hanging out, So it's like, what do you want to eat? Like, I don't eat a lot. And so what do you want, Or what do you want to do? I love hanging out with you. I can watch my shows in the office. What do you want to watch, right? And so, um, I think when I do want something, especially right now, it might be a little bit harder for me to voice it just because I know how much, my wife is like here at home. Like she's a bird in a cage. She's full time taking care of the kids. She's doing an amazing job, but it is a lot of work. And so for me to be like, hey, I want to go to the gym, that's actually something that we did talk about a couple weeks ago, where I did have to like go to her and say, she is not by any means putting any pressure on me.
Hmm.
To make that very clear, she's being super supportive. But I do have a little bit of guilt where it's like I want to go to the gym and I don't feel great wanting to go to the gym because I know you're here and just taking care of her and it feels a little selfish. So I guess more practically speaking, that might be an accurate answer.
Oh, those are so good. Especially because I think you come across as such a good listener that I'm so surprised. Again, like you said, it's not like these are like blow up arguments, but
Yeah.
just the fact that that even is like one that you're like, ooh, that's
It's
hard for
something
me.
I need to be conscious of. I
Yeah.
do believe that I am a very good listener. I'm not a very confrontational person in the sense, like I don't avoid conflict,
Yeah.
but I'm also not someone who tends to engage with it.
Yeah.
So I do think I'm a really, really good listener, but it is something that if you're asking me of all the skills that I know to do, which one do you find yourself like the hardest to kind of practice? That's the one I find myself like most conscientious when practicing.
That's just universal though. Cause like it is funny. I feel the same way. But like you said though, when it's high conflict or when things are tense, that is going to be when it's harder to like
Hmm.
implement those things or that you don't have the resources as readily available. So I think like I walk myself through that stuff all the time too, where I'm like, take deep breaths, like repeat back what you heard him say, ask for clarification if I'm already
Yeah.
getting angry. Those things I think I walk myself through too, but I wonder if that's just kind of the nature of those moments. And no matter what kind of therapist you are, I don't know anyone, like the nature of conflict itself. I don't know who's like, I handled this, or like, that's okay. Let's just do this right now. Ooh, but mine. So yeah, I agree. That one's definitely, I walk myself through every time. I think I always will. But mine is slowing down. Surprise, surprise.
I was gonna say that's not news.
I know. But I think it's like even like the other week I had a random day where just with how things worked out, I saw someone at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and then my next one was at like 6 p.m. And my husband had appointments all day for his job, so he's like, "Oh boy, like what are you gonna do today?" And I was like, "I'll be fine. I'll be okay. I will figure this out." And I deep cleaned every carpet in our home, like did the steam cleaner. Took like 3.5, 4 hours, every carpet in our house. And I
Nice.
was like, okay, but I kept myself busy. And so I think I'm doing a better job at I think angling that energy towards something that's more helpful, or I know I don't feel like I have to do something, but like I have this thing in me. I just can't slow down. Once I'm up, I'm up. I go full throttle. Heaven forbid this garden goes well, it'll be like, how do we double the garden? I mean, it's just like I never stop. My brain never stops. I will not actually. It took, oh my God, we had to rent a tiller. We can't do that again. It was way too hard. But I think there's certain things where I'm seeing like, okay, certain tasks are useful, but they're still keeping me busy enough. But I know if I get tired after and I want to sit for a half hour in between something, I can do that. And so it's like, I think I'm trying to be much more conscious of utilizing that energy in ways that are not just like I'm going full throttle all the time and feel like I have to, quote unquote, or something. Like I'm more conscious of it, which I think is a good step. But I just think a part of me is never going to be the kind of person. I'm in a really bad TV phase right now. Like I cannot sit and watch TV. I get very, very anxious. It could be 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, okay, you can watch a show and I will puzzle at the table, or I'll unload and reload the dishwasher and listen because I can still like see it from our kitchen. But I'm like, I need to be up and moving or doing things that like engage me somehow. And I think I'm also just trying to accept that that's the zone I'm in right now. But I have lots of clients who, because I work with a lot of ADHD and stuff, I mean, them in their own ways are like, oh my God. But then I want to do this and then I want to do that and then I want to do that. And I'm like, my God, preach. Like, I get it. This is going to be so hard for you. It's like, I get it. So I try really hard to, but I don't have that figured out at all. So
We're getting
that's
there.
mine. We're getting there. Baby steps. Ooh, okay, Danny. Question number 5. We have 3 more. What is the most challenging or surprising aspects of running your own private practice?
Challenging.
Challenging or surprising?
The most challenging, I'm gonna say, is feeling safe from staying out of trouble. I don't know.
Feeling safe from staying out of trouble. What does that mean?
What that means is that I experience a little bit more just fear of the unknown
Mm.
than when I was a part of a practice. Because, like, I am a clinician, this is the company, so ultimately, the company, right? I know I have liability and all that stuff, but when, like, for example, like, what if somebody wants, like, their notes? What if I get subpoenaed? What if I get, like, summoned and all that stuff? I think that makes anybody uncomfortable if you're working in this field, but
Mhm.
I don't know, for some reason, it's just been more on my mind as having my own practice, like, what about your business license? What about this? Or what do I need that? And so kind of sifting through what is necessary, what you actually have to do versus what are just some stuff that other people do. And you're just kind of taking on unnecessary costs to do all that stuff is my answer. I don't know if I'm answering the question. Did I do it?
No, I think that's good. Yeah. I
Okay.
thought that was a good
That's my
answer.
answer.
I like that. Ooh, okay. Because mine, I guess, was maybe lighthearted is not the right word, but I'll tell you what mine I was thinking for surprising, but now I guess I'll add a challenging one too. I think challenging is when we were in school, at least the mentors or supervisors I had made it sound like it was very easy to fill your practice. Or like, yeah, once you're
Sure.
licensed, your whole world's going to change. And it's like, have be on psychology today, boom. And I think now, post COVID, like all these giant companies that exist, like it's way harder to fill your practice or get clients that stay or get full pay or whatever. That, like, that I think has been more of an ongoing challenge than I just would have thought originally. I think you and I have both been like, thank goodness we're in a space where neither of us have like really freaked out about that. But
I
like,
agree.
it's just something that was more of a challenge than I think was originally posed to me, which you brought up. But the one that I was going to say that was surprising that now feels kind of stupid to say is, and again, this is just from my experience. I'm in California. Again, I don't have like dependents or anything. Healthcare. Everyone is like, but if you work for yourself, healthcare. Oh, you got to
Hmm.
pay for healthcare. Scary, scary healthcare. And mine was like 300 and something a month. And then once I got married and I could add my husband on, or like we are on the same one, or I don't know, however that works, because he also works for himself. But now that we're together, it like went up $4 from what I paid for just me. So I'm like,
Nice.
cool. Now we're each paying like 100 and something. Like, this is awesome. So that was surprising. But again, I've heard like other people who have like a lot of illnesses they're dealing with or need certain doctors or have kids. Like, it's very, very different. But just saying, I think it's this giant scary thing everyone throws out there. And I remember when I looked one day and I was like, and it was like, oh, it went from $333 to $337. And I was like, oh,
Good for
okay.
you.
So that was surprising in a way that I was like, oh,
Yeah, very
that's
nice.
my random one. People should look into that. If that's what's stopping you, just take a peek. You might really quickly be like, oh shit, this is not good. But I think it's worth looking at because people say it like a very scary looming thing.
Yes, your results may vary.
Yeah, your result definitely will vary. Okay, next one, Danny. What is the favorite thing you have in, or a favorite thing you have in your office space? Or like, what would you say is like a most essential part of your office space? Which I know we've kind of already talked about, like your books, your standing desk.
Sure.
Is there any?
Easy one with this one. My glass board.
Duh.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good
easy
one.
one.
You should tell people about your glass board.
My glass board. I have a glass board, and if you've seen any episodes with me filming at the office, you'll notice it's that thing behind me. I love it. I've always been a little bit more. I don't want to say like I'm a visual person. I think I'm like it helps me work things out. And clients tend to love it. So as a couples therapist, this is where it really tends to shine for me. As a couples therapist, I will 99% of the time follow what's called a 4 session assessment model. What that means is that you meet the couple as a unit for session 1, sessions 2 and 3 are individual sessions, so one with each partner. That gives me an opportunity to ask them questions, to learn a little bit about them and kind of see, their own personal goals and ideas and perspectives on the relationship. Session 4 is a feedback session, is where we come together back as a unit, share their strengths, weaknesses, what I think some big milestones are going to be, and essentially just lay out a small little treatment plan. When I do that, when I'm preparing for that, I usually write everything on the board. So I present it to them that way. I have gotten the most positive feedback from couples working with me when they come into the office and they see the board is just for them. It feels very personalized. It feels very, like this is for us. Like you understand us. It shows we can see where you want to go. And they'll ask me all the time, can I take a picture of this? Can I take a picture of this? And it's like, yeah, it's your work. This is for you guys. Do whatever you want. For me, it helps with my processing. And every now and again, even in sessions, during sessions, I'll go up and I'll show them, I'll write like, this is where my head's at. I want you to see it because I know I can be very heady. And so I think it's mostly for me. They love it. It helps them a lot. So my glass board, easily my favorite thing in my office.
I love that. And that is what I think also makes you very unique as a therapist too. Not to say no one else uses like a whiteboard or a glass board or something to write on, but that is one thing that I'm like, damn, that is it's cool that you can do that in person with people. Like that is a great benefit to being in person. Oh, okay. Well, mine are just so random. My standing desk, you already said that one. Honestly, I've really enjoyed, and it might sound stupid, I still have tissues in my office, even though I'm virtual. But I feel like it's really it's something I never quite thought about. But when I get people, whether it's couples, whether it's individuals, and they do cry in our sessions for the first time, I guess I never really thought about how uncomfortable it could be for people, or, in my head, it's just oh yeah, duh, obviously crying here, totally fine. And I will normally use that time or at some point, obviously, when it feels appropriate in that kind of exchange to be I always have emotional support tissues for you. And all my clients have always it's either kind of made them laugh a little or they've been oh my God, Ollie, that's really sweet. And so I think it's always a moment that kind of makes them feel seen and heard, even though it's virtual. Or then I'll have people I've seen for years that I'm I'll wave the tissues every time at some point. I've known them for years. And I'm get the damn, I'm going to send you a box of fucking tissues. I'm why? Why have we not invested in this yet? I'm they make the pocket-sized ones. And they're I know, I got to get those. It's it just kind of becomes I think a layer to our bond together that I really, really enjoy and still makes me feel like I'm a real therapist, even though I don't actually have a box of tissues that I can hand to someone virtually, but I've got them right here and I always let them know. And it's cute. Sometimes people will come in and be Ollie, have your tissues ready. It's that kind of a day. And I'm oh, they're right here. And so I've really enjoyed that. Just something as stupid as my little box of tissues as a telehealth therapist. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I was expecting you to talk about your confetti, your streamers.
Oh my God, I do love my streamer. People gotta see you. It's the investing in the board that you write things on. You're obviously, I've never heard of therapists having confetti in their office.
The only person I know who does that.
Who would not? You are with people through giant life milestones. People graduate. People create that boundary that they're I finally told this. I didn't respond for once. You know what that deserves? Confetti. And I have it. And I fill my whole freaking office. And we celebrate. And I launch the confetti. And it's so fun. And I think people deserve that because sometimes there's not anyone else celebrating their milestones. Or they say something, confetti happens. And they're oh my God, that deserved confetti. And I'm that obviously deserved confetti. And then that's a whole other part of the session, right? Is them being why would you not give yourself credit for this? We have worked on this for however long. This is historically how these things have impacted you over time. This is a huge change in how you handled it. And so I do love my confetti.
I love your confetti.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay, Danny, I think we're on the last one. I love these questions. Yeah, okay, last one. Most surprising thing being a therapist has taught you? We had to end on a slightly bigger one, you know? And it doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Has taught me?
That you were kind of surprised about. I think there's things we all assume, like, oh yeah, I actually have learned a lot of. I try to practice, better communication with my spouse or whatever. And it's like, yeah, expected. We work with couples. But like, what's not that expected that it's taught you think?
I'm going to throw this one out there.
Ooh.
And maybe this becomes its own thing. So this is a teaser to see what you guys think. All 10 of you guys listening.
The whole crew.
Yeah. But the thing that I've learned, or give me the question again.
Let me read it verbatim. The most surprising thing being a therapist has taught you.
It has taught me. Taught is a weird word, but I'm already in too deep. I've already set this up too much. There's no going back. It has taught me just how petty other therapists can be. Yeah, it has. I'm not going to go into it. If you want, give us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and if we get enough positive response on this one, then maybe I'll go further. But
me and Danny will dive in.
Like, do I, in retrospect, do I think, like, who was I to expect that every therapist is going to be a fucking angel, right? I'm human. I'm not myself. Am not always the most approachable person, according to many people. But do I think that there are some jobs that should require some kind of like vetting process? And like when you think about police officers, do you think that we should be somehow, some way getting the most like just people? There are some jobs out there where you're like, I really think this one should be reserved for a certain type of person.
Fair.
Knowing that every job and every position has people where you're just like, I don't know how the fuck you got this job. I don't know why you're here. And so I'm not surprised in retrospect, but I have been repeatedly reminded and let down and disappointed at just how petty therapists can be when we're on those groups and listening to their response and seeing how some of them just go at each other. It's like, have you not thought about anything that you've said to your clients? Like, oh, you really think that this is a for them thing. You don't think that this applies to you at all.
Yeah.
So that I will leave that there.
That's a good one. I do have to add, there's a level of like the pettiness, you're absolutely right. But the like hoity-toity like nose up. And I don't know if that's just because this is gonna sound, my pivot to being a therapist was like, I thought I was going to be like an engineer and then even when I was like, I'm going to do psychology instead, people were like, oh, you must want to be a psychiatrist. And I was like, no, like, I don't know why. I think it was just expected because school came kind of easy to me that people thought I'd go to like law school or probably not med school because I can't do blood or anything. But like, let's just say I didn't think therapy was the kind of world where people would be like the snobbery.
Yes.
Maybe. I thought like, if you're a brain surgeon, I could totally, or like maybe judges or like there are certain fields I would just expect that yes, if I went into that, there'd be people that are like, oh, you only can do 3 brain surgeries in an hour? Like I've saved 10 lives in 30 minutes. I don't know. But I get it. I'm like, damn, yeah, you're a brain surgeon. I don't know. It's like I get it. There's a level of snobbery that I think I found in the therapy world that a part of me was kind of like, we're talk therapists. We're therapists. We're therapists. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't hard to get here, but like, we're therapists. Like, it's cool, man. You can approach anxiety one way. These other people might have a different tactic. There's like a bajillion different theories for a reason. Each one works for different people. Like, you do you. You will find clients that like the way you do it. And then you'll find clients that like the way someone else does it. So snobbery was surprising to me. I was like, oh, I've never once felt like I'm better than you because I'm a therapist. If anything, I'm like, I'm a therapist. I work out of my other room in my house to just talk to people, just try to do my best, help some people out. That's what I try to do with my life. I'm not saving lives.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's hilarious. Oh my god, that one's so true. Yeah, please leave a comment if you want to know more about that. Send us an email.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's a great one though. God, most surprising thing I've learned. I think I went yours was like a way funnier, better direction. I think mine was just that like at the end of the day, I don't know, I think it helps me see so many more similarities that we all have than differences. And
I
I
like
think
that
it's
one.
so cool having people from like all different cultural backgrounds, all different ages, different genders, and like you just see like the hardest thing they're struggling with in their life. And that's like every hour of my job is that. And the more you peek into that 100, 1,000 times, it's like, oh, we're all people who all struggle. And I don't know why I wasn't expecting that to be so like in my face.
Mm.
Like maybe I just thought I'd resonate with some people's struggles more than others or something. But at the end of the day, it's like, oh, this guy that looks nothing like me and was born in the Middle East and, this, that, and the other. It's like, we feel a lot of similar ways about a lot of things. We experience it differently, or like we've lived really different lives, but like we're also really, really similar in weird ways. And so I've thought it's like this like beautiful, fun thing I've learned that I wasn't expecting that I really, really like.
That's a great answer. I like
Thank
that
you.
one.
Thank you. Yours
Good
was
one.
also a great answer, though, and not false. So, but this was so fun. Thank you for entertaining me, Danny. I
Yeah.
love seeing how different therapists on like their Instagrams and stuff answer random questions that people have sent in. And I think it's just fun for, like, I think people find it interesting and random to know, but then it's cool for other therapists. Maybe they don't have a standing desk and now they'll reconsider because, like,
Go go.
holy shit, it's worth it and a write off. So, like, please do that. It's really
Yeah.
good. I've loved it.
This was fun.
This was fun. Yay. Oh, this was a good one. How fun. Danny, have so much fun with little Aaliyah. Have a
I will.
lovely afternoon. And I'll
Thank
see you
you.
next time.
All right.
Next
Bye
lunch
bye.
set.